treat people in business. The Experience Pros, America's home for positive business talk.
We got what you need, what you need. Welcome back to the Experience Pros radio show. Thank you for tuning into this, the home of positive business talk. Sitting in for Angel Tussey, who is out in Las Vegas, speaking to entrepreneurs with Bill Walsh and the Power Team International, is our friend Eric Hunsberger. Eric is you're way more than a health coach. You are a healthy human being. Your attitude, your disposition, your work ethic, everything about you is consistent, brother. And I just want to make that a part of the public record. I'm so impressed with what you and your wife do for so many people.
Sweet. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it, man.
And folks, we interviewed Eric earlier in the hour. ReachingHealthGoals.com is his website. His phone number, which is worth $75 to the first three callers, is 214-906-7221. 214-906-7221. If you are ready to be done with all the head trash, all the games, all the excuses, and you want to take your health seriously, you need to call Eric Hunsberger, 214-906-7221. First three calls get $75 directly applied to your coaching session. And Eric, I've watched people go through your coaching. The pies, what is it? The proof is in the pie. Proof is in the pudding. Proof is somewhere. It's in the pictures. It's something with a P. The proof is, I don't know where the proof is, but it's there.
Yes, it is. The proof is in the pictures.
I've seen it. I know the people. I've spoken with several of them. You do great work. Want to go back now and talk a little more about Bill Jennings, his article on healthy business practices that will, as we move into the new year, will help us stay either balanced and or at least effective in our pursuit. The next point that Bill brings up in his article is that we need to understand our marketing needs or our market's needs. We need to know, I sell a widget, but does anybody need this? Right?
Yeah, that is so true, Eric. Understanding your market's needs is one of the biggest things I think sometimes we miss.
Right. Your company, your website name, reachinghealthgoals.com. All too often, we don't reach them because we don't know what they are.
Mm-hmm.
We don't identify what those needs are. How do you teach your clients to prioritize and then understand what it is they really need?
Well, Eric, it's like this with my clients, in any business, Eric. It's taking the moment to stop and ask them not only what they need, but what they want.
What their desires are.
What their goals and desires are.
Do you find that it's a bigger motivator than what they need?
Oh, 100%.
We're emotional beings.
Yes.
We're driven by our desire for pleasure, whatever that may be.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
I think you're absolutely right. The next point that he brings up is this. Well, let me go back to that. Asking plenty of questions makes you an asset, not a liability, right? So the process of asking the questions, and it doesn't matter what your client is, doesn't matter what business you're selling or what business you're in the relationship business. You start to ask about what it is they desire, what are their needs and desires balanced, and you then can work backwards to find a timeline that works within their schedule that they can accomplish whatever it is they're shooting for.
I agree. A mentor of mine said this to me. They said, and it really shocked me when I first started, my own business, is they said, Eric, you don't need to be interesting. You need to be interested in the people you're serving. And those are two different things. And as soon as you get interested,
it takes the focus off of you. I'm interesting, and turns it into a focus on them, your customer, your client, whatever you call them. I'm interested in you.
Yeah. I mean, Eric, sometimes, we're both communicators. We're both communicating to people a lot. And so we can make the mistake thinking that is actually being interested. so what I have to do, I'm so guilty of this, but what I have to do is pretend I'm holding an ice cube in my hand. And that's the only time I have to talk. And I need to listen and ask questions more than anything.
What does the ice cube tell you?
It's melting in my hand.
So
every time I talk, the ice cube's melting and melting. And so I have a little bit of time and I need to ask more questions and listen.
I love this analogy. I've never heard that before, but I really dig it.
Yeah.
All right. Bill Jennings' next point is this. There's a lot more ways than one to skin a cat. Be open, keep an open mind, and be open to options that create situations where both parties win. And we're talking about how to develop healthy business practices. And I think that across the boards, whether you're dealing with an employee who's not getting along with another employee, or an employee who's not getting along with the boss, or if you're dealing with struggles and challenges in communicating your message out to your customers, this all goes to the way, if you are ready to compromise and you're willing to create situations where both parties win, and that's the strength of negotiation, right? Negotiation is not the fundamental element of negotiation requires both parties to lose.
Ooh, wow.
I wish I could take credit for that.
Bomb.
Right? But that comes from a lawyer friend of mine, Andy Contaguglia. And he says, if you are to be effective at negotiation, that means that you are effective at concession. You're effective at losing. Both parties must lose in order for and lose doesn't mean entirely lose. It just means give up ground, right? Because if you say it's my way or the highway, it will be the highway and you will lose all of it. Far better to lose 10% and find somebody in the middle, right? 25%. You give 25, they give 25%. What's the old lyric? I'll start walking your way, you start walking mine. I'll meet you underneath that old Georgia pine. I'm pretty sure that's I
think that might be a good song.
Yeah,
You've got that. I mean, Eric, keeping an open mind, that is just what you said right there is just mind shattering. I mean, it's like finally getting your ego out of the way and deciding both parties are going to win.
What happens if we get our ego out of the way is that both parties do win, and that becomes a healthy business practice. We're talking to Eric Hunsberger, and we'll continue our conversation after the top of the hour news. Don't go anywhere, folks. ReachingHealthGoals.com is where you can find more information about Eric and his business, or just call him 214-906-7221. Back after this.
The Experience Pros, revolutionizing the way people treat people in business.